If you own multiple rental properties in Canada, you have an absolute superpower that you likely haven't tapped into yet. But by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to run rental cash damming, which is a little known tax strategy in Canada, which will allow you to shave years off your mortgage, make your interest tax deductible on your primary home mortgage, while also saving thousands in interest. All right, so I'm going to walk you through a budget scenario for a client that owns 4 rental properties. And while you may not have 4 rental properties in your portfolio, rental cash damming still works with only 1 rental property. So obviously, the more properties we have, the more powerful rental cash damming is. But on average, our clients that own 1 rental property are shaving 5+ years off their amortization, while also saving over $100K in mortgage interest and tax refunds along the way. So again, this is more of an extreme example, but this just shows you how powerful it can be once you start adding more to your portfolio. So we're going to start off here with the primary residence at the start of the budget here. Then we've got the rental property details, which is all of them combined together. Then we've got some cash flow inputs on the middle here. And then we have the net results of rental cash damming. So primary value, that is the value of her primary today, $1,070,000. We've got the mortgage balance at $810,000. Her interest rate today is 4.6. 22-year amortization, and her monthly payment is $54.26. So down here, I'm going to gloss over some numbers that aren't applicable to her. 5.45% interest rate on the line of credit, which is what it's at today. The ILOC max credit. So this is the HELOC max credit, the max amount of balance that will be on the home equity line of credit at any point running rental cash damming. So as a reminder, phase 1 of rental cash damming is we are paying down the mortgage as fast as possible, this $810,000, and we're converting the debt to the home equity line of credit. So when this hits $445,000, this will be completely gone. And a lot of people think that because we're paying this down and we're transferring it to the line of credit, that it's going to end up being dollar for dollar, $810,000 on the line of credit. But that's not the case. And the reason being is because when we're paying down the mortgage aggressively, we are saving a lot of interest along the way because mortgages are compounded, the interest is compounded. So because of that, the line of credit balance is almost half the amount of the initial mortgage balance here. Okay, so rental property, we are combining all of the rental properties together. So the original purchase value, that is the purchase prices for all 4 of them, $1,005,000. Current value, 2.86 of all 4. Mortgage balance, same thing, 1.297. That's all of the mortgages combined together. Interest rate, this is a blended rate, 3.06. Amortization, 23.82 years. So her monthly mortgage payment for all of the rentals are $6,384. We've got all of her expenses associated with the rental properties down here as well. So her total monthly expenses are $7,738. So you can see that she's cash flowing very nicely on these properties. She's built up a nice portfolio. So she's cash flowing positively $4,081 a month from all of the rental properties, which is great. So her total rental income is $11,820. We have some assumptions here. We don't need to worry about this because we're not selling off the property. That's for a different scenario. 2% appreciation on the cash flow and the expenses. So we're assuming that the expenses are going to increase by 2%, and same thing with the rental income as well over time. Investment growth rate, I'm going to explain what this is in a second here. Marginal tax rate, she is also a high income earner. So her marginal tax rate is 48.47, which helps with the total tax refunds. The higher the marginal tax rate, the more tax refunds you're going to be receiving from the CRA when running rental cash damming. All right, so over here, when it comes to cash damming, we have 3 main phases. Phase 1 is we want to focus on paying off that debt as fast as possible. So when that happens for her, this is really, really powerful when you have multiple rental properties. She is converting that debt in 4.25 years. That is very quick. On average, when it comes to a client that owns 1 rental property, you're typically in the range of at the very minimum 8 to 12 years for the debt conversion, which is still great, but 4.25 is very, very fast. Her total tax refunds are on the lower side. And the reason why they're on the lower side is because we're paying off the mortgage much faster. So the faster you pay off the mortgage, the less tax refunds you have, because again, it's through a shorter period of time. So she's receiving $42,000 in tax refunds. If we change this here, I could show you what that would look like. If she's in a lower tax bracket, this would reduce here, or it would either increase because the Yeah, okay, there we go. So the total tax refunds do reduce there to 31,000. And we are saving 125 payments. Now, where we get that is because when we are running our scenarios on the budget, we are assuming that your goal is to pay off the mortgage as fast as possible. You don't have to go that route, but that's what our calculator shows. So in doing that, she is saving 125 payments on her mortgage, which equates to 678,000 in interest. Because we're saving those payments, the interest is compounded on the mortgage. So she is saving big time there. So because she's in that higher tax bracket, you can't assume that dollar for dollar, she's going to have to make 678,000 in order to save 678,000. She would have to make 1.3 million in income, employment income, in order to save that amount. Again, because she's taxed at pretty much 50% of her income is gone right off the bat, she would have to make 1.3 in income to save 678. So that's what that number is there. Phase 2 is mortgage freedom. So once we have converted the debt and we have that debt on the line of credit here, 445, our next phase is to pay this down as fast as possible. All right. So what we're doing there is we are now allocating the money towards that line of credit, and she is paying off her mortgage in 8 years, 96 months, 8 years, as opposed to 22 years. So that is a lot of years shaved off her mortgage. And phase 3 is an optional phase that a lot of our clients opt into doing. This is another way to grow your wealth even further. So phase 3 is because we are saving 125 payments on her mortgage, which equates to that 678. If we invested this 678 over time, then with an 8% return, and say she's investing in the S&P, which 9% is the average return, then she would be growing that 678 to $1,053. So that's what we're showing there. And again, I'm going to go over this again. The 678 that she's saving, she would have otherwise been paying those mortgage payments through the remainder of those years. So if she allocated those payments into an investment portfolio, then she would grow that money even further. So that's what we're showcasing there. This is the power of rental cash jamming, increasing her wealth by over $1 million.